Hey everyone, welcome to Football by the Sea. This is the very first episode.
Hello,
My name is
hello.
G-Day,
I'm John.
and we're just here to talk about the game we love, the
Yep.
sport we love.
Talk about all things football, aka soccer,
aka soccer.
and we also live by the beach, so there's the title.
Oh yeah, so fun fact. Do you know that soccer was actually a word made up by the British and not the Americans? Most people think it's an American. No, apparently when both sports were still growing up, football was called football soccer and there was football rugby. So when they brought the game over here, the US preferred the rugby version, but they threw away the name rugby from and kept football, and then for soccer they kept on calling it soccer.
That's actually news.
So
to me.
blame the English.
Still, I mean, it's football everywhere. Everywhere else important is football.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say that everywhere else it's football. Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. So we're starting today because, well, a new season is upon us. The Premier League starts tomorrow. We're here to talk about, what we think for the season, some of our predictions, what we think is going to happen, how it's like, Chelsea's pretty much playing FIFA with the way how they're buying players. I think they're about to get a new goalkeeper today or tomorrow. It's not going to play this weekend, but very soon. It's insane. I mean, the whole year has been insane because of the COVID situation and how it's affected everything. And then it's amazing how Chelsea was just like, you know what, this means nothing. Just signing checks away.
Just playing career mode on FIFA.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. So anyway, the season starts tomorrow. One thing about us, we're Arsenal fans.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably going to be a lot of talk about Arsenal.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's start with one thing. For this upcoming season, who do you think is going to win the league?
See, this is what I hate whenever I watch podcasts or listen to watch YouTube videos. It's always Premier League predictions before the season starts, based off of what I've seen so far. And I hate making any predictions, but it's looking like Man City has strengthened, Chelsea have strengthened. And I don't really think Man U. Honestly, I think it's still gonna be either City or Liverpool, and I think City might come back this season.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying that they think City is going to come back strong, which I believe that they're definitely going to do this season.
Yeah,
Because I know there is no way Guardiola is going to rest on his laurels and stuff. And the other thing is Liverpool hasn't really strengthened this summer. They've only brought in a replacement left back. And the one thing that why Alex Ferguson was always consistent was every year he refreshed his team, no matter if they won the league. So he never allowed them to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're a good player, but you're someone else who's also going to play in your position for competition. And so that keeps you on your toes. And then, you keep pushing and going through. So that's why I kind of agree with when most people say they think City's going to come back and take it. But it's going to take a massive drop off from Liverpool for them not to win it, because last year they won it. Oh my God, the margin was insane.
Yeah, I mean, it was like halfway through the season, everyone was just like, all right, this is boring now. Let's watch the relegation battle. Let's watch top 4 battle.
Because it was a lot more interesting. And pretty much last season the Premier League was a farmers league.
I mean, if you look at it in terms of how good Liverpool,
I'm just saying for just that one season, it was a farmers league.
And it's never like that. It's never that wide of a margin.
It's never that wide. And I've heard people say that a lot of teams weren't as good last year, which I think the only team that applies to is Man City. Every other team was way below par. I mean, they were trying to compare it to the season when Leicester won, when everyone else was below par. But I don't know. I think it's a lot different from that season.
No, definitely. I feel like Man City was not as good last season. I mean, with their defensive situations, and everyone else was just below, kind of like Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, Tottenham. Like everyone else was just kind of like trying to. Leicester was there for a while, so
And they fell off.
and then they just like. So this is like it was a 2-horse race, and then it became a 1-horse race, and it was just done.
Yeah, the season was done by January, pretty much.
Yeah.
Very.
And I don't think. Hopefully, this season will definitely be more entertaining, just because of everything else we've been seeing. We'll definitely talk about the transfer market, and everything we've seen so far. But prediction wise, I think City or Liverpool. I mean,
Okay,
I would
but
say City.
okay, I would say City as well, and then Liverpool to come in second. So where the real controversy is like who's gonna come third, fourth, fifth, or sixth? Because we can't just say top four anymore. Now it's top
Yeah.
six.
Yeah.
And I remind you, look, Everton have strengthened. Wolves are still decent. Sheffield United, I think they might not be as good as next season. But pretty much the teams that I think have a chance of breaking in if Ancelotti gets everything right. Everton, Wolves. I mean, Everton, Wolves, Leicester. Those are the teams that are trying to break that mold.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. There's a lot of competition, and that's the thing about the Premier League. Everyone has strengthened, at least in the top half of the table. So it's like you never know. And then there's the teams that come up. Like we can even talk about Leeds and where they're going to be with like Bielsa. And there's always that first season where you're in the team gets promoted. You don't know what they're going to do. Like with Sheffield the other season.
Yeah, but I think that's different because with Bielsa and Leeds, everyone has been watching them. So I think everyone is a little bit more expectant of what they're going to do. Sheffield was like, no one expected that. No one was paying attention to that.
Right.
I think a lot more people have paid attention to Leeds. So I don't think Leeds will go down, but I think they're not going to be as high as they think they would be, or as most people think they would be.
I would keep them in the top half. I would say that at least no lower than 10th. I don't think they'll be.
Yeah, and that's Leeds. We sort of went off track.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Honestly, like with the way Chelsea has been moving, if they don't get third place, which would be where the same position, right? Like from last season, or they get
No,
fourth.
they were fourth. They sort of messed it up on the last
I
couple of
mean,
games.
just with the way they've been buying players left and right, it's just like, I mean, I feel like the pressure is definitely now more on Lampard to perform this season than on last season. But yeah, it's gonna take time before we see them gel and see if they can gel, if it works out for them. I just feel more sorry for their young players. The kids from the academy that they broke through last season, and then they're just gonna be kind of pushed to the background now because of all the new signings. But Chelsea have a very, very good shot if they get their team well oiled. Man U is, I don't know what they're trying to do with Fernandes. Has really galvanized them. He's really kind of put the team together. I'm still not 100% convinced with Ole. Sorry, that's just I just feel like he's good. I don't know if he's right for them, right? I don't know if all the success they're seeing is because of him or because of who they brought in at this point.
I think Ole is decent. I think he's a lot better than some Man U fans give him credit for, but I don't think he's the one to take them back to that level.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because in some games I've seen him make some amazing tactical decisions, and in some games I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And I think a lot of my fans would agree to that. But like you said, Fernandez was sort of like the missing link. He just made them
Yeah.
click.
Yeah.
So I think if they still get like a better defender this window, then yeah, I can see them being up there. Because okay, you said you see Chelsea being third. The reason why I think they might not get that is because it takes a while.
For the team.
For a team to gel.
kind of- yeah. No,
Eh,
and that's why I said maybe. I'm not totally sure on that, but yeah, I just put them there like just because of the expectations that I feel because of how their window has gone. It feels like now everyone's looking at them now.
Oh yeah, everyone like. If there was no pressure on Lampard last season, there's a pressure right now
Yes.
because he's gotten like amazing players.
Yeah.
But it's just like the downside is always whenever you get this many players, because like every team I've seen that's gone out and bought like a bunch of players at once, it always takes a while. Like when Tottenham did it after they sold Bale, burning a bunch of players that didn't work out. Fulham last time they were promoted spent like 100 million on almost like 10 new players. They went back down. QPR did it a couple of years ago. It didn't work.
The only one team I've seen successfully do it recently was Wolves. They just basically took the whole of Portugal.
Yeah, but that's
Placed them in
exactly.
Italy.
They took players that were all from like the same country. They all sort of, they didn't have to worry about that language barrier or stuff like that. Like they've bought players from. I mean, I think Lampard has shown that like he has some talent for what he was able to do with Chelsea's young players last season. But like you said, I feel bad for those same young players. I think Chelsea has loaned out the most players in all of England. I was looking at their side. I think Victor Moses is still a Chelsea player. I was shocked.
But I mean, but yeah, where do you see the rest of?
Yeah, so it's weird. It's sort of very similar to yours. Like if Chelsea get everything right, I see them in third. Mind you, just because of their midfield that's clicking, and then they've brought in Van de Beek, I can see their front three, really scoring them goals is defense. So I still see, the top four being similar to last season, and then hopefully in fifth. This is my head talking. I see Arsenal. My heart says no, we'll break into the top four, but no. I just don't see like our midfield still needs a lot of work, and our team is very imbalanced. We have way too many We've been crying out for defenders, and now we have too many of them.
Too many defenders. I mean, it's not that; it's just too many average defenders that need to be shipped out. But that's another topic. I think with what Arteta is doing right now, he can pretty much like. It's like a wet T-shirt or something.
Wet T-shirt?
Just let me go with the analogy.
Okay.
He's basically able to like get the most out, wring everything out
okay, I see
of
what
a
you mean.
player, till the last drop, so he can get the most out of what we have available. So I think it is actually possible, despite whatever the, I guess, odds are for Arsenal to be in the top four. I think it is possible with the addition of a creative midfielder or and another central defensive midfielder. We could definitely
that's getting Thomas Partey and hopefully that dude from Leon.
or
I can't say it either.
Everyone's just like
So for me, I see Arsenal coming fifth. I'm surprised Tottenham haven't really backed Mourinho and trying to get the players that he wants.
Right. I mean, they got that one player from Wolves, Doherty.
Yeah, but that's one player.
Right.
Because one thing that happens with Tottenham every season, I think one thing that has been your feeling is
Levy's pockets.
Is that like Harry Kane gets injured every season.
Right.
And that's their top goal scorer.
Who's the backup?
Exactly, there's no backup. Usually Son comes in and does an amazing job, but he's not as prolific as Kane. and they don't have anyone else. That's why I think if they don't get anything for the rest of the window, I think Wolves will finish in 6th. And I pretty much see Tottenham finishing in the same position.
I mean,
so that's my top 6: Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, Wolves.
I would say my top 6 is Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, then Man U, Wolves.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Maybe we could come back to it after the transfer window is closed.
Wishing on a prayer.
After the transfer window is closed, we could come back and check it out and see if we want to adjust anything.
Yeah.
We might have to, or we might not. Either way. After then our predictions are locked, and then at the end of the season, we'll come back to that.
Yeah. Oof.